I only want people that are for me to gravitate towards me. I don't even want to push it. I don't want anybody to, go out of their way to share my stuff. Hi, men and babes. No lessons. I'm serious, you're serious, we're serious, and we're in frame. And we're not shy or scared at all because this is normal. We have a podcast. Hi, men and babes. Welcome or welcome back to Owoje has a podcast. My name is Owoje and I am shaking and reporting live from the streets of YouTube. And this is a great day. This is a great day for us all. This is amazing. This is normal. This happens, right? I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy. I'm extraordinarily happy. But I'm also wondering if there's not a new subset of people that are probably seeing me for the first time. I'm wondering oh, who be possible, you know. And so I will introduce myself properly. Yeah, hi. My name is Bella. I am a girl. I'm a girl. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I am a pastor's wife. I do dabble. I do dabble in the media. I do dabble in having a voice. I do dabble in sharing opinions. Yeah, so I have a podcast. This is she, and I have been. I think I've had a podcast for about maybe 3 years now, but I've been hiding. I've been hiding on Spotify. I've been hiding on Apple Podcasts. I've been hiding everywhere that there's audio where you don't have to see my face. And I've done all of this for the simple reason that I had refused to blow, and I was so adamant against blowing. And it was a very silly thing, but I remember starting the podcast and just being like, oh, I thought it was noble. So I was like, I only want people that are for me to gravitate towards me. I don't even want to push it. I don't want anybody to, go out of their way to share my stuff. I just want to talk. And so for 3 years, that was what I did. I started this podcast on a very, very, very random Friday afternoon. I think I was overwhelmed from the work week. Those of you who know me from my Bella of Hala days know. So I was community manager for this amazing tech startup, this fintech slash commerce slash social commerce, all of that. And so I was like, my maybe how old? Maybe early 20s self. I was just like, I've worked hard for my money. I've done all the things. This Friday I'm just overwhelmed. My brain, I just want an outlet. And so I downloaded. Then it was Anchor. Now it's Spotify for podcasters. And I downloaded Anchor on this Friday by 5 p.m. after work. And I really just started pouring out not my frustration, but I started talking and I realized that I would put the mic on and I would talk and I posted it. And for some reason, people were really excited to like listen. So I had a community of people on Twitter that already knew me. So I'll just post there literally only on Fridays. I didn't do any sound bites, I didn't extract anything. I would literally just post the link and be like, food is ready, we're good. Go and post. I'll go and listen rather. And I will say what I wanted happened. People found me organically. In fact, there were many people that had listened to me for years before maybe this year they found my Instagram and they're like, oh, you're the babe. And the only reason that you make the connection is because my name on Instagram is actually Owoje. I'm 27 years old and I have never met a namesake. So I'm very sure everybody clocked it. Like, oh wait, this is the babe we listen to on Spotify. So yeah, I was saying I didn't do much. I didn't put any promo. I didn't have an Instagram page. Did not have anything for the podcast. And I was doing that and I was doing that every Friday, 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 every Friday. And then I just took a break one day. I think I missed like 2 Fridays for my mental health. And I came back every Friday, every Friday, every Friday, every Friday, every Friday, every Friday, every freaking Friday. And then I took a whole, you know, I I got married and I didn't record for it because a lot was happening. Oh, if you're new, this is great. So I grew up in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm Nigerian. And I grew up in Abuja. I lived all of my life. No, not all of my life. I moved to Abuja when I was 4 years old, and I lived there all of my life except university. So getting married, it's like, ooh, we're moving to Port Harcourt. I don't know what that's like, right? And so it's a whole adjustment. I am married. I've moved away from the physical location of my job. So I'm now working fully remotely. New church, new community, all of my friends are in Abuja. Like everything was just like, oh, okay, such a switch that I think I again took another unannounced couple of weeks. And then, I'm back every Friday, every Friday, every Friday, every Friday. Then I get pregnant. I get pregnant and I'm just like, I realized that because with my podcast, for not for the most part, it has never been scripted. Now that I'm a bit more serious, we got a little video budget, so I'm a bit more scripted. No, am I scripted? I'm a bit more serious. Let me put it that way. And so, now we're gonna have the whole shebang. We're gonna have guests. We're gonna have questions. What was I saying? Help me, anybody. What was I saying? I was saying, okay, I got pregnant, and because my podcast has, or for the most part, had been very everything that's top of mind. I say, and so I didn't want to announce my pregnancy just yet because I felt like I don't know, it was such a good thing that was happening to me, to us, but it was also such a new thing. And I didn't want people to be in the figuring it out space, mind, headspace with me. And so I would come on the pod and be talking about the most random, useless, irrelevant things. And because I was talking without passion, I think it felt hollow to me. Maybe people didn't know, people didn't clock it, but I was like, there's this big thing that I'm not talking about, which is the most obvious announcement. So it was boring. I got bored. And so inexplicably for like maybe the last 3 weeks, 3 months of my pregnancy, I was just not on the podcast. And oh my goodness, I think that was the longest break I had taken so far. And then I give birth. And guys, oh, my sweet summer children. I'm kidding. Before I got pregnant, before I became a mom, I was like, oh, yeah, once the baby is just here, we just become Superman, Superwoman, and we just like keep it pushing. It's just like, so I thought pregnancy was the thing that was, by the way, if you're a bit about pregnancy, I get it because I used to be like that. It's not icky. Just stay with me. We're cool. I'm a cool girl. Anyway, so yeah, I was thinking, oh, I'll just give birth, just drop the baby, and we're back. Mm-mm. Children are alive. Babies are alive, and they demand not even just attention. They demand your life. In the newborn stage, they are 100%. Let me tell you something. The first day that my child, her name is Adana, the first day that Adana played independently, like she sat down, I put some things on her mat, she sat down, and at least for like 10 minutes, she didn't need me. I was like, is this what that feels like? I am a girl again, an individual. Because tell me why I gave birth to this babe, and you see breathing space? Is it is it that thing that they're calling breathing space? It didn't. It's we cannot exist. It doesn't exist. And so obviously I could only record when she was like taking naps and stuff. And my husband also works like a very busy job out of the house morning till night. So and he's also a full-time pastor. So there's that. So like obviously it was me and baby, my parents, my siblings, my everybody lives in like different states and all of that. So, I was in Port Harcourt, it was just me and my husband, and then subsequently just me and my baby until he will come back. So it was great, but like it was great because I could afford to lose myself in it. There was nothing really pressing that needed me to like return immediately. So I would say I enjoyed like that whole like motherhood bonding kini without stress. I enjoyed it well. The only stress was the stress of like the actual baby, but every other thing about my life, work, even down to like laundry. I'm so sorry to say, like, thank you to my man because I'm a spoiled wife, you guys. But yeah, so it was really, it was good. Like I had time to bond so much with my baby and do all that jazz. So anyway, point I was making, I would only record when she was um asleep. And then it just got to a time where that wasn't sustainable anymore. But also beyond that, I felt so incredibly tired. And this is the part that, my loyal listeners will have to forgive me for. Because I used to pride myself on, oh, no days off. Like everything that was happening in my life didn't matter. Friday by 5, I'm giving you an episode. And it just felt like life started happening in a way that made everything before seem petty, seem juvenile. It just felt like, oh, I could no longer snap out of my life and just come and like do this cute little thing and go back. And because of, like I said, I didn't publicize my podcast. So all of the growth I've seen, which I'm super grateful for, but all of the growth that I've seen up to this point has been 100% organic. If somebody likes it and they tell somebody about it, glory be to God for the increase. If Spotify recommends it and you play the first 5 minutes and you like it, glory be to God for the attention span. So I haven't really done much. And so I will say that I did feel bad about just disappearing, especially because I had done that a couple of times and come and apologized. I am sorry. But it just felt like it was here. Not even because it was super stressful. I mean, if you think about it, it wasn't a lot of work. Literally come, record, have an outlet, pray your baby doesn't wake up. 15, 20 minutes of a good episode and you're done. No editing. Just post, right? So you'd be like, why is that so much work? Well, I think it started to this thing that I said when I started this episode, I didn't want to blow. I, I I I thought I was being noble by doing that, but it was so incredibly silly. It was so incredibly silly because I had a good thing. I have a good thing, and I think I was more scared of success than I was of failure. I was more scared of it actually getting the attention that I knew in my heart that it could get. I was scared of being demanded of, being expected to come out of my shell. See, God has shown me a vision for this thing, and I'm not even trying to sound spooky. By the way, I'm a Christian, so that's fun. And so I know that there are a lot of important conversations that I'm supposed to have. There are a lot of important things that you are going through that you're supposed to hear about from me, from my guests, from just whatever this will become. A lot of what I am is because, of course, I was properly discipled. I have had good pastors. I would say consistently since I got saved, I have had good pastors, and I'm in a church now that is just a dream. It's amazing. So I have good pastors. But I find that a lot of what has also shaped my mentality is in conversations I've had with people in their parlors or conversations I've listened to people have. So I'm watching on a screen and they're talking. And it's just like, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to model the rest of my life forever. Fun. And of course, it's an enormous responsibility, beg your pardon. And so I was just like, I mean, girl, I just want to be talking and justing and vibing and saying what's going on and telling you about. Then I was like, oh, milestones. Like, oh, now she can. Guys, now she can walk, she can run, she can dance. She's a great, she can babble. She's amazing. Like she's actually my favorite babe in the world. I love her. And so I just wanted to keep it cute, keep it. But it would appear that even with that, there is some responsibility to be had, to be taken. I remember the first time somebody outside my church environment came to me and they're like, "Oh, you're Owoje from the podcast." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I think I had just moved to Port Harcourt then. It didn't even occur to me that people, first of all, having an audio podcast or having a podcast in general, it's not like, say, being an Instagram creator where you actually put faces to the people that. So if somebody comments on your Instagram, for example, you can go and look at their page and be like, oh, so this girl. So it's like, oh, we're mutuals. And then likewise, Twitter, it works by somebody talk, you talk, they comment, they reply, they quote. So it's like you can, but with what I've been doing, it has felt really one-sided. And I think I liked it. So it felt like screaming into the void. And occasionally the void will leave a comment, but you cannot see their own void, you know. So it was just like, man, somebody is coming to me in a new city and telling me like, oh, I've been listening to you for a while. Thank you so much. And I wanted to run. I was gagged. I said, whew. Number one, people recognize me in public. Number two, this thing is like, again, and I apologize for this. There were times that people actually sent me messages. I don't know why I was running so much. I think I recognize just what an incredible responsibility that it is to have a voice in people's lives. Have you seen that meme or those tweets where somebody will say after giving bro like mad advice, and then you now at the end just say just my opinion in case it ruins their life. And I was like, oh my God, I relate like mad, because like the types of things that people were now bringing. And the thing is, I was just sharing my own experiences for the most part, and my persuasions about some things. And people will come to me with like real life serious, oh, this thing, my wedding is in 4 weeks, but I feel such and such. Should I go ahead and marry this guy? And I'm just like, hey, I don't know you enough to be in that position. Of course, now I wouldn't do that anymore. I wouldn't escape that anymore with the help of the Holy Spirit and just with more confidence, to be honest. And especially now that my husband is a resident pastor, God has graced me for some things, for some counseling, for some just, if nothing, the ability to point you back to Him and be like, you don't have to listen to 1,000 voices. You can actually hear God. So that's actually great, and I'm happy that I've grown in that regard. But yeah, for the most part, it made me run. And so, what was I saying? I babbled. I am such a yapper. I am such, and so YouTube guys, people that are just finding me, I apologize because we're going to be doing a lot of this. You're going to like, it's maybe when I'm watching the video that I'll be like, oh, I did have a train of thought, didn't I? I did. I jumped off the train. I entered Okada. Oh, for my non-Nigerian audience, an Okada is it's a motorbike. Think like power bike, like vroom 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 vroom. Anyway, um, yeah. Uh, I said all that to say that I'm sure not running again. Um, okay, I remember what I was saying. I was saying how it just got very mundane. It got, to me, it started to feel very mediocre, the same things that I had praised about it in the past. Because if you know me, you know that sometimes I do get decision fatigue. I do have decision fatigue. So the way that I started this podcast was very like, I thought of it that day. I didn't think about it. I just like, bam, I just downloaded the app and I just started talking. And so because of, that success or that victory, I just thought like continuing to do that. Oh, just showing up regardless of how I feel, except big times I didn't show up. But yeah, just like posting like that, it felt I was doing something, or it looked like I was doing something well. But it gets to a point that you know that you're being lazy. You see this video situation, I have I've been thinking about it since last year, but expressly I got the leading to actually do it December last year. What have I been doing? I didn't expressly say no, Lord. Oh. I will get ginger. I'll get excited. And then I would just like lose steam. But also part of it was like, okay, I need money to buy gear. I need lights. I need a camera. The truth is, yes, I did have some things that I own. Fun. But I have some things that are on borrowed time, like mad. And so, but it's like, okay, but see, but I didn't buy it, but I've started, right? And it's like, okay, there's some things that we're going to learn on the job and figure out along the way, but I have started. And it can only get better. It can actually only get better. And so when January I lost the steam. April comes and there's this thing, this program in my church called Faith Conference that we had for the first time this year. And it was like, I left Faith Conference with a stream, but I left Faith Conference with such, oh man, such ginger that if you can palpate and feel it on my body like this pain, there's so much like potential energy. And what did I do? I was praying every day. And not prayer of like, okay, it was just me stalling. Oh, see, I should call, when I got a leading in about it in April, it was like the Talk and Do podcast. And I wasn't quite sure, oh, is this going to be the name? And I thought it was supposed to be the name. And I remember feeling like, I'm not the most Nigerian person when it comes. Like, imagine me having a podcast, Talk and Do podcast. I'll be shy. I'll be so shy. And so I think it wasn't until last month, just talking with my husband, and he's like, maybe that's not the name, maybe that's the direction of it. And I now realize that, oh my, yes, God really just, so it's two things. It is, oh yeah, do what you say you're going to do. But beyond that, it is here we're going to be having a lot of conversations that are going to shape what we become and what we do, what our actions are. And it's going to cut across a lot of things. It's going to cut across many, 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 many aspects of our lives. And so I'm excited to be going on this journey. And I'm excited that you're going to be coming along with me because you don't have a choice. You're here. So, subscribe. This is fun because I have never done, I'm not even sure what subscription looks like, if it looks like anything on Spotify and them. But I have now entered like, share, comment, and subscribe territory. Mind you, I'm gonna be on you every video. We're gonna be together. We're gonna be forever. I'm kidding, but please subscribe. And yeah, I'm going to be telling you my stories. I'm going to have people here that tell you their stories. We're going to be doing social commentary. I'm going to be talking about my baby. i'm I'm going to be talking about things that are relevant to you, I promise. But yeah, it's not a preachy podcast, even though there's nothing wrong with those. I love myself a preachy podcast, but it's not one of those. It's really just us being adults and figuring life out together. And yeah, think of me as I don't even want to say online big sister, because what if you're older than me? Ugh. Just think of me as a person that you keep a date with, hopefully once a week, on this beautiful YouTube thing. And if you're still listening on Spotify, because I know I'm going to post the audio, then hi. If you're still listening on Apple Music and all the things, is it Apple Podcasts? Apple Podcasts. So see, you guys now get to see my confusion in real time. This is so interesting, and I also have to remember to look at the camera like always. But I'm very, very, let me calm down. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to have you here. I know, okay, this is not me. I know that we are going to have fun. And and that's what it is at its core. We're going to have fun. And so, yeah, share this with everybody that didn't want me to have peace of mind. Because I can't lie, I have not, since maybe January this year, I've been silent. And the reason for that is because I know I'm supposed to do more, or I've known I was supposed to do more. And so I knew I couldn't get by. I knew I wouldn't have peace with myself. Um, if I continued posting, I would have probably gone through the whole year not changing anything, just post my normal, audio stuff without actually doing what I needed to do. And so it was like I gave myself this ultimatum that I would not come back to the pod unless I had done everything I needed for the pod, or at least started the journey. And there were many times I had opinions. Many times I wanted to talk about stuff. I had to swallow it. Like, you talk about it when you have your video podcast. But yeah, I'm super excited and I hope that you are too. So come along with me. If you're new and you made it to this point, you're such an OG. You're fighting for space in my heart with the actual OGs, and I love you. All right, I think that is it for this episode. Don't forget to do the things like share, subscribe, comment, tell your mommy, tell your grandpa, share it on the group chats. And I will talk to you next week, hopefully, right? Right? Will I talk to them next week? I'm looking at my videographer because, like, it's a very big part in whether I'll talk to you next week or not. And on that note, we're signing out. I love you. Peace.